Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I have episode 2 of the Banner Saga. So, let's continue right from where we left off last time. Alright, so, looks like we are on day 7, and unfortunately we only have 7 days of supplies with this group. Oh man. I'm going to take a look at the map real quick. Maybe get a feel for how far we are from where we want to be. Because I am a little worried about our supplies. Well, I'm not actually sure. Oh, we're going to Frostvalor. Right. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not too far before we get there. And then when we do get there, I'm going to need to buy some more supplies. That is for sure. Oh, of course, maybe we were there already. Far enough for today, I think. After a day of misery, men and women dropped their meager possessions beneath the godstone of Fridveldir. What are we doing? We just left our homes because suddenly there were dredge. Chieftain did what I suggested, and look what he got for it. Look at these people. Somebody has to hold them together. That's you, Rook. How am I supposed to do that? Lie? Tell them everything's going to be alright? Gods, Rook, I don't know. Pretend you know what you're doing. That's what the rest of us do. Thanks for the advice. Then do whatever you want. Let them fend for themselves if they can live with it. Or if you can live with it. You humans are absurd, Rook. Furious when you're not in control, terrified when you are. Pull it together. You're right. Think of how I feel. I'm stuck nursing a bunch of weaklings. You do care, I can tell. Pfft, men are a plague on the world, worse than any dredge as far as I can tell. Chats like this are why we get along so well, Ivor. You sleep poorly, the sun forever stuck to an eternally bright sky. Before the others rise, you find yourself staring over long, low hills covered in pine. The godstone looms overhead, the massive eyes of Heraldivir looking the same direction as you. Going to inspect the stone. The weathered stone doesn't see many visitors. Not much reason to travel so far east. When hunters come through, they sometimes stop to give offerings, out of habit more than anything else now that the gods are dead. Heraldivir was the god of hunters and of wild beasts, occasionally seen roaming the land as both man and wolf. He was always depicted in effigy with his terrible spear. You wonder what he'd think about his woods being full of dredge now. A young girl from the caravan approaches you. I made this for you, she says, handing you a crude necklace carved from a branch she must have found nearby. Thank you for saving my mama, she says, before running back to her tent. Back at your tent, you rouse Alette, who clings to your arm until she is completely awake. Bad dreams. Eventually, the camp is broken down and it's time to move on to Frostvalor. Feels like an end more than a start. Okay, so I got a rune. Not really sure what the runes do, but I suppose next time I get a chance to look at the heroes screen, I will be able to kind of figure that out. Okay. So, like I said, okay. The caravan halts when a group of men appear on the trail, weapons at their feet. We've seen the dredge in your wake, says one. We don't wish to meet them alone. If you'll let us join you, we'll show you a watering hole with enough animals to fill those supply wagons. An inherent fear of strangers raises mutters from the caravans. I'm going to say, what are you doing out here alone? We were hunting here for food when the dredge found our village, says the man. When we returned, he looks away, unable to finish. I'm going to let them join. If you'll be no trouble, come along, you say. The men cautiously join your ranks and prove trustworthy. The hidden watering hole nearby is teeming with animals, and soon your supplies are nicely restocked. Nice, that's really good. Yeah, that actually got a lot of stuff for us. During a rest, one of the men get too drunk and end up splashing mead in a warrior's face. A brawl erupts. Many thrown fists and a broken bone later, the instigator, Raffensvarder, is tossed on the ground at your feet, angry clansmen looking for satisfaction. His personal defense is little more than drooling mumbles. I am going to encourage the others to let the issue drop. We're all on edge, you reply to the crowd. Does anyone here not deserve a strong drink right now? Let him walk it off. The caravan mutters in lukewarm agreement and gets ready to travel again. Could have gone worse, you think. So, I'm assuming, like, the little situations like that, depending on how I deal with it, could change, like, whether I get an item or something out of it. The caravan is visibly relieved to find a small village on the way to Frostfeller, with beds and fresh supplies. The locals here are shocked by the news you bring and discuss it amongst themselves while you set up nearby. Cool. That's actually really good, because we should be able to buy some more supplies then. Yep, so I can go to the market. Okay, what do we have here? Lightning runestone, a small stone with a curious carving that conjures image of furious lightning storms. Well, I'm actually going to spend a bunch of my renown to get some supplies. I'm going to go to my hero's tent here. And okay, so I'm going to promote Rook. And I've got 2 points that I can spend. Let's see here. I think I will put it into, let's see, maybe 1 into armor and 1 into exertion. That seems like a pretty good idea. And then, yeah, I will go ahead and do that, because there's not really a reason not to. It's level 2. Okay, can't promote him. Oops. I can promote Alette. I guess I can just do this. So I will definitely promote Alette. Yep. Oh, and I can actually promote her twice. Sure. I'll definitely do that. Nice. Okay, and then I've got 4 points to spend, so I'm going to raise armor. Raise exertion, and oh, that's, what is that? Oh, that's break. That's actually really good too, though. I'm okay with that. Okay, so then if I go back to the hero screen, what does this do? Protects from death unless strength is 1. And let's see. +1 armor, +1 strength, +1 willpower. So the only reason I'm doing this is because I think I would rather make sure that everyone can have an item. I mean, not everyone, obviously, because Oddleaf does not have an item, but that at least spreads my items around a little bit more. Let's see what this does. Hopefully this doesn't actually... yeah, okay. I thought maybe that's what it did. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the map, unfortunately. The map is super cool, and I spent a lot of time on the map before. I am going to rest just to make sure that my morale is doing okay. And let's see. Yeah, so I don't actually... so what I'm going to do is that... oh, and that's all he's got left. Alright, that's fine though. So, kind of one of the interesting things with the game is trying to balance how you're going to handle your supplies. You're only just outside the village when two men in red approach. "My name is Hogan," says one, gesturing to the other. "My brother is Mogan. Many from the village wish to join you to Frostfeller." A third man, exuding rage, charges up to the group. "Shut your mouth, Hogan," he screams. Uh-oh. What's going on? "These bastards don't speak for us. They've been trying to divide the village since you got here." "True. You can keep whoever wants to stay and die. The rest of us will go with the reasonable people of Skogar. I'll have you both gutted before I let half the village desert." Behind the angry villager, a mob of armed thugs have appeared, all furrowed brows and nervous stares. "You both know what will happen to the rest of us if the fields are abandoned. Nobody leaves." Okay, let's see. I'm going to say let your people decide on your own. We thought that's how it went ourselves. A good number told me to my face that they didn't want to be beaten to death by Dredge. Dredge my ass. I don't know what the scam is this time, Hogan, but you got two choices. Get back to work, or I'm finally putting you in the ground. Mogan, what do you say? Thought it was unfair that he only asked me. Mogan draws his axe slowly, followed by Hogan. Despite their confidence, the brothers are significantly outnumbered. I think I make a poor farmer. I'm actually going to side with the men. Ivor steps forward, the thugs hesitate. As you pull your axe, and you notice that Alette is nowhere to be seen. Okay, do that and do that. Hogan and Mogan. I like these guys. Mostly because their names rhyme. I've got something for siblings with rhyming names. I don't know why. I just kind of like it. Hogan and Mogan. Alright. I think I'm going to do that, that, and that. I think that is probably a better way to kind of start this out. Yeah, I didn't think I could. It's okay though, I will just end my turn there. And I'm assuming that this battle is probably not going to be too difficult. Oops. Ooh, damn. Yeah, I will take that. Nice. Although there are a lot of them. That could be probably the only real cause for concern here. Is just how many people I'm going to be fighting. Okay. Fighting Mogan over here. Alright. So, what I want to do is this, and I want to go ahead and attack her armor. I think that will probably be a fairly good strategy for that. Well, maybe what I want to do is just go ahead and move all the way over to this guy. Go and attack him, and I'm going to attack for a bunch of armor, just so that I can hopefully try and like take that guy out. Man, they're all kind of crowding around. Luckily, he's got tons of health, so it's not a huge deal. I'm actually going to see if I can... Oh, right, I thought he had Tempest, but he doesn't. Let's see here. Oh, and I'm trapped in here. That's interesting. Well, who can I do the most damage to? Guess I'll just do that. It wasn't much, but it got something done. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the back here. Nice. Okay, that's a pretty good move. I like that. So I'm actually going to do that with, is this Hogan or Mogan? Mogan. I'm going to do this with Hogan. Mogan as well. Same move that I did with Hogan. Holy spicoli. Oh my goodness. That is not good. Okay. Yeah, now we're talking. Oh no. Oh my goodness. That's like my strongest dude too. That is not a good sign. I mean, I guess the good thing is that what we learned last episode is that this works in kind of a Final Fantasy Tactics fashion, where losing all of my characters, well, not losing all of my characters, but losing a character does not mean the end for the game. I will be able to keep going, which is good. And I mean, I've still got a chance here. I can still do this. Nice. It is just going to require a little bit of luck on my part. But I did pretty good about taking out a bunch of them that turn. And yeah, I didn't think I could reach anyone. That's fine though. So, I mean, it's 3 against 4, oh, well, 3 against 3 now, but that is quite alright. And now it's 3 against 2, so I'm not too worried now. I think we are in pretty good shape here. Alright, cool. Go ahead and kind of knock out some of that guy's armor. Yeah, I really like the combat system in this. One of the things that it does a little differently from kind of other games like this is the whole armor system. In that if you attack the armor, then you've actually got. Okay, actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and use the bloody flail move here. Yeah, that was what I was hoping for. So that was way more than I could have done otherwise. Nice, and I can. Oh, I will be able to end it because of the way the Final Fiend moves go. So that'll be that. Nice. Yeah, I like the feel of. Okay, the brothers thank you with wide grins. Soon, many of the villagers have joined your caravan. You scan around anxiously for Alette, who had gone missing when the fighting began. Eventually, you find her watching from afar. Hogan returns at that moment, introducing you to his son and wife, and you soon set out again. Nice. Nice, nice. Oh, and we got a bunch of supplies for it, so that works out pretty well. Alette marches quietly alongside the caravan, a little distant since leaving the village. When you stop for a rest, Oddleif approaches you both. Alette, I have something for you. Oddleif has gathered up the long banner from the caravan and smiles warmly as she passes it to Alette. What's this about? I was hoping you'd solve the banner with everything that has happened since we left Skogar. Come find me another time, Rook, and we'll talk. Before you can comment, she departs. Dad, are you the chieftain now? I'm gonna say it looks that way. Oh, then that means you're both quiet for a moment while Alette unfurls the banner. Ugh. Oddleaf has been teaching me how to sew. She speaks pretty highly of you. Can we read the part about Mom? You nod. On the banner has been sewn the story of the families who have lived in Skogar throughout the years, just as is done on every banner in every town. I wish she were here, but I'm kind of glad she isn't. The section of banner about your family is short, but Alette has been sewing in colorful designs. Why do you say that? So she doesn't have to deal with all of this. Dredge, leaving home, and... Why did you have to kill those men? In the village? I mean, if it's okay to ask. I'm going to say I had to make a hard choice. Because the Dredge are terrifying. Every time we have to fight them, I just want to run. But I don't want to kill a person. Please. Are you mad at me? I'm going to say I'm glad you don't want to. Alette smiles at this, then her face sinks again. I guess I would do it if I really had to, but do we have to? I know what you mean. Yeah, I know, Dad. I think you're doing a good job. She hugs you. You spend the rest of your time together, sewing new verses into the banner. For better or worse, the story of Skogar is your burden now. Alright, cool. So I'm going to go talk to Oddleaf. How are you doing, Odd? I'm alright. Not at first. Sometimes when a loved one dies, people say it doesn't sink in for a while. It sunk in for me right away. People tell me I'm a strong woman. It's funny, my father named me Oddleaf before I was even born. He wanted a boy so badly. Strong woman, what does that even mean? People look up to you. Don't take this the wrong way, but I don't want to be known for handling my feelings. If I feel nothing about my husband dying, people think I'm strong. If I cry because my insides feel like they're on fire, I'm weak. Why does that feel so backwards? I'm sorry, Rook. It's been hard. You're not sure what to say. In the many years you've known the chieftain's wife, this is probably the most you've ever talked. You asked me to come find you? Yes, it's about the banner. I thought about it a long time. He asked me to give it to you, you know, if something happened. I'm going to say, what would you have done? That's what I've been thinking about so much. It should be mine. I could carry it, but I thought about why he named you. I get it. They won't follow a woman. Families would leave. Our banner would be divided. I think they would follow you. Come on, Rook. This isn't the time for pretend. It's not just about our small town. What happens the first time we need something from another clan? How will that go? And the first time someone thinks they could take advantage of us? I think this is what has to happen. Maybe this is what it means to be a strong woman. She looks sideways, eventually giving over to a timid smile. I'm not sure if that's the dumbest thing I've heard or the sweetest. Listen, I know I dragged this out. The truth is, my husband and I could never have a child. I don't want our banner to end here. It'll be safe with you and Alette. I know you're going to take care of her. She puts her hand on your shoulder as she heads back to the camp. I like that those little scenes are optional, but they almost always have a reward. Besides just, okay, one or more of your units is injured. Injured units can still fight, but they have a penalty to max strength equal to the number of days wounded. They heal as time passes. Okay, interesting. That's a neat system. Yep, I will definitely do that. So, 2 armor breaks, auto attack for all allies. Cool. And let's see, I want to do that and give myself another armor. Confirm. Let's see, is there anyone else I can promote? Nope, guess not. Oh, I want Alette in there, of course. But I can't promote her either. Let's see, was there a market here, or is this just a camp? Alright, I'm gonna rest for a day. So now we've got good morale. But I don't want to rest for too too long just because of my supplies. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water here real quick. Alright, I am back. At a small split in the trail, a few fighters stopped to speak with you, each carrying a single pack. We recognize this place, one man says. Spent several years here with some kin. If they're still around, we have to warn them of what's coming. With luck, we'll find you again in less than a week. I'm going to remind everyone that they're free to do as they please. You thank the men for coming to you, but raise your voice for everyone to hear. We all make decisions for ourselves and our families. We're all free to do what we must. Agreement echoes throughout the caravan as a small group of men take their leave. So what I was saying was there are like obvious benefits to trying to be a good leader, basically. Complaints of Raffensvatter's excessive drinking have resurfaced. This time the man stumbled over some tent ropes, pulled the snagged caravans through a campfire, nearly setting a supply wagon aflame. Clansmen put out the fire on both the wagon and Raffensvatter's leg before leading him to you. That sounds like a frat boy. Holy cow. I'm gonna say this man drinks nothing but water from now on. Raffensvatter groggily agrees, slurring his way through promises to quit being such a nuisance. Many of the onlookers snort or roll their eyes, but go back to their business. Somehow, you doubt it'll be long before Raffensvatter manages to find another drink, whether you'll allow it or not. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe I made the wrong decision there. Dredge, shouts a man from the back of the caravan. It's Raffensvatter, the unabashed drunk. Staggering toward you, looking not entirely sober, he screams again, pointing to the trees in the distance. Fear races through the caravan as fighters pull their weapons, scouts return with no sightings, and furious men surrounding Raffensvatter. I'm going to ready myself against Dredge. There'll be time for that later, you tell the men. For now, we take no chances. A full day of uneasy rest passes with no sign of Dredge. The caravan is annoyed by the scare and the delay. Eventually, Raffensvatter bursts into laughter, and you're sure there never were any Dredge. Not long after Raffensvatter goes missing, nobody searches for him or seems to mind. So I guess the right decision was to just kick him out in the first place.
Once a strong, thriving city, the walls of Frostvellir now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against Dredge as well.
Alright. So what I was saying was I like the way that kind of your decisions as a leader can really help you in a lot of ways. Like, I've gained a lot of supplies, I've gained a lot of renown through just my decisions as a leader. You jostle through follow crowds of sunken faces, who appear as though they've been freezing in front of Frostvellir for days. The gates are closed. You come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. Well, that is not good. This is not looking good. Why are so many people in the fields? We can't stay outside in the open like this. Oddleif finds you amongst the many refugees. Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody is being let into the city. Why? It's overrun with Varl from Blotzbalker, Greyhorn, people from Bitra, all the nearby villages. The Dredge are everywhere. And the chieftain of Frostvellir has locked himself in his great hall. That's when they close the gates. When the Dredge come, these hills will turn red. We have to get in there. I'm going to say I want to know more about what's going on in there. I see a lot of people gathered around the rest houses and the gates. We could find out what they know. How would we get in anyway? They closed the gate. I can get that gate open. Let's see if there's any other way before we start breaking down gates. I wasn't going to break it, just push really hard. I like Ivor. Alright, so let's first of all we're gonna go to the market. What do we have here? Plus 20% dodge strength attacks, plus 1 armor. Ooh. Yeah, that seems really good. And then I'm going to spend the rest of my renown to get supplies. Alright, so let's head to the gate. You approach the gate where hundreds of people have gathered. In the trodden, bloody space in front of the door, several pin-cushioned bodies lie unclaimed as though they simply belonged there. Archers up on the walls make it clear that nobody will be getting in. Men and women below intermittently call for mercy and reason when they're not flinging stones and curses. Find out more from the crowd. You spend an hour talking to different people who all have the same story. A couple days ago, the chieftain shut himself in, closed the gates, and refused any more refugees. They've got huge stores of supplies in there too, adds one man. They're just hoarding them. I'm going to shout at the guards. We're from Skoger. Open the gates. You shout to the archers, not expecting much. You get as much response as expected. Okay. Ivor, did you really expect to push these gates open? I'm willing to try, grunts Ivor, despite sizing up doors that look like they could hold back an army. And when men start shooting arrows and pouring out to stop you, then you kill them, he says. You're not sure this is the most sound plan. We're not doing this. This is a terrible idea, you said. We don't even know how many are in there. Ivor folds his arms. He seems almost relieved that he didn't have to live up to his earlier boast. I'm going to leave the gate and try something else. You leave the crowds and head back down the hill. There are a lot of people gathered around the rest houses, says Olive, pointing. Maybe we can find help there, or at least make ourselves useful. Sure, why not? You spend a whole day at the rest houses. Everyone gives you the same story. The chieftain just shut himself in the great hall and closed the gates. There are a lot of wounded people here, adds Alette. We could help them. The rest house is overflowing with refugees, the sick, and wounded, and noise. I'm going to tend to the wounded. Alette and Oddleaf spend the day along with others in your caravan treating wounds, most of which came from the archers at the gates. I overheard from one woman that the city has been sending carts with food around, Oddleaf tells you. Could be a way in, Ivor replies. Next time they send a cart, we bring it back in. Oddleaf protests. Aside from leading to a fight, it would probably mean no more food for the refugees. I'm going to say we'll wait and confront them. Keep your sword down until we need it, you tell Ivor. We'll make a deal unless they're looking for a fight. Early the next day, you spot another cart leaving the gates of the city. After they've thrown their scraps to the refugees, you approach. Stop. My friend wanted to talk to you. It's not what I wanted. Think I can guess why. If we knew there were more fighters than Varl out here, Ekel might have brought you into the city. Who's Ekel? He's in charge up there. In charge of what? Or better let him explain. I don't think so. We're done here. Onef shakes his head and gets the cart moving again. They head back to the gates. What was that about? At worst, we could have taken them. Didn't sound right. There's something going on up there. Then I think we better dig in and figure out what to do next. I think you're right. Alright, and that brings us to Chapter 3. Little Did They Sleep. I'm probably going to play for a little bit longer before calling it a stop here. Okay, cool, and we are moving back to the other party here. Cool. Hakon, we're back. I was able to get as many warriors from Strand as you wanted, and more weapons. Extra supplies, too. You perk up, just now realizing Moger had been talking to you. Since Vogner died, everyone has been looking at you to make the decisions. It's exhausting. Hakon? Sorry, just tired. Go on. I was saying the Varl we sent to Strand have returned. The governor gave us most of what we wanted. Good enough. Much resistance from the governor? Some. I don't think he was happy about us buying his fighters using his own money. He also insisted we take on a lackey of his to watch over his property, a man named Eirik. Eirik? I met him. He seemed competent enough. Regardless, the governor will have to get over it unless he wants Dredge crawling through his streets. We've put down every slag that has wandered through here while you were gone. Enough flapping of mouths, then. You're sure that wound is healed, Luden? I agree. Enough has already gone wrong. If something happens to the prince on a mission of peace, the alliance would rot. Or worse. I'm going to say Ludin makes his own decisions. We would only be made to do this again later, and I will not suffer it all a second time. Either take us through the wandering road, or do your job and slaughter some dredge. Ludin turns abruptly with a scowl. He stamps back to his ring of tents and followers. Wandering road's not an option with this many. I could crush that boy's skull with one hand. If Ludin won't be deterred, you'll have to deal with it. Don't let Ludin get to you. Let's go. I'm sick of looking at this dump. What do I tell the warriors, Hakon? Tell them to be cautious. No more losses. Will do. Give the word and we'll set off. Alright, so I'm gonna go to heroes first of all. Definitely want to add Eirik in. Let's see if we've got anyone that we can... Yep. Okay, definitely promoting you. Confirm, and then I get 2 points. Do those. Oops. Alright, and no one else can be promoted. That is fine. Just fine indeed. Alright, so now we've got some people that we can talk to. We will definitely do that. I'd ask how you're dealing with Vognar's death, but I already know the answer. Do you? Steady old Mogr, which is good. I know most of these Varl, but they're not under my command. They came to follow Vognar. Tell you the truth, I wouldn't want to be in your position either. You think we're walking into a death trap? This many Varl? No, we should be alright. Things could get rough, though. I don't like being the one to send Varl to their deaths. I like worrying about myself, and that's the extent of it. Who would have expected Vognar to drop like that to a couple of slag? I'm still wondering what happened. He had hundreds of dead slag to his name. I don't get it. Just happens sometimes. No big moment. I'm sure it surprised him even more than us. Although, I have to wonder... Nah, never mind. Anyway, I'll worry about the warriors. You worry about not doing something stupid. That's asking a lot. Anything you can tell me about the caravan? Throw together this many Varl, half of them want to hit each other, the rest want to be left alone. Anyone I should keep my eye on? There's a couple of clan leaders trying to show off for each other. Not a big deal, I've got it under control. The fighters we just got from Strand aren't bad, but they're unruly. Give it a few days. And there are a few moaning about fighting for you instead of for Vognar. Those are the only ones to worry about. What about Ludin's men? They don't want to hear anything from me. I know that. Any problems? Could be. Ludin's pet Varl named Bercy. I'm not sure where he came from or what his deal is. Bastard knows how to fight, but there's something I don't like about him. His girl in red is scary too, Ursa. She's probably the best fighter Ludin's got, to be honest. I've overheard some of the Varl call her the Witch. Why? The flaming arrows, I think. It's a good trick, but the fire upsets our Varl more than the dredge. Still doesn't make much sense. Witch? They're not scholars, Hagen. I think they're mostly just afraid of her. That makes more sense. Don't let her find out. Haven't you ever wanted to be in command? More than I am? Any more rope and I'd hang myself. I doubt that. I forget, you weren't around back then. At one point I had more rope. I hung myself. So, no, I'm not interested in command. It's all yours. Thanks. What were you holding back about Vognar? I'd rather not say, Hagen. Why not? It's the kind of thing that'd get stuck in your head, and you need a clear one. It's better if you let me worry about it. If you say so, keep it to yourself. If there's a reason to bring it up again, I will. Let me know if you need anything else. I will. Alright, and then I will have my conversation here. You knew him well, didn't you? Vognar? No. Well, I don't know. I remember him. Always rushing around with some important business, but I never knew him. Never got a chance to talk much. Longer than I did, in any case. I suppose so. When he spoke, Varl listened. I knew that. I could use help here. The scrivener leans back, considering the sentiment. I've seen worse. They respect you for your ability to swing an axe. They need to respect you for your actions. But you're not talking to the right Varl. Mogur's got some skill there. Most I can do is hold a quill. What are you always putting down in that journal? How do you mean? What do I write? I write what happens. They've got a banner in Arborang for that, you know? You mean the long banner? Yes, the Menders wove up something that writes its own history. You want my opinion? I don't trust it. No? It tells a broad story. I think there's some value in the narrow. Whose story does it write? Mine? Theirs? Ludin's? Gods forbid. Ha, you relic. The gods have been dead a long time. Oh, have they? Old habits, I suppose. I heard you were a Terra in your day. Do you know how old I am? Dare I ask? I'm competing, you know. Nobody knows how old we Varl can get, naturally. There's one by the name of Snorri. He's got a few years on me. Just hunkers in Grofheim collecting rhyme. Bastard might actually beat me. Another named Krumer is close, I think, but the addled son of a bitch still welcomes a fight. He'll probably be offed before I am. Although, the Scrivener gestures around him as if to remind you of the current situation. You chuckle. Anyway, point is, what difference does it make? I'm just a delivery baron for Gerunder now. Can't remember half of what I've done. Hence the journal? Hence? Don't get fancy on my behalf, Hakon. Okay, I won't. What do you suppose happened to the sun? Gods, how should I know? Never seen something like this before. Are you worried? Some of the Varl in the caravan think the world's coming to an end. Others think it's the best thing that could have happened. No more black months. I'll take it. If it's the end, I'm ready. What about the rest of us? To the depths with you. Ha! I've hoofed more hills than a horse born with a grudge. Don't worry about me. Alright, and I'm actually going to call this episode to an end here. I think this is a pretty good stopping point. So, as always, leave comments if there's anything that you'd like to comment on. Subscribe to my channel for more of my videos every single day, and if you like the Banner Saga series, and I really hope that you do so far, please consider clicking the like button, because that could help me out a lot, and I appreciate everything that you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.